Hey, it's Barça here, and today's video I'm going to be talking about Kubo, the former Barcelona youth player who went on to sign for Real Madrid and today plays at Real Sociedad. He used to be one of La Masia's top talents and was like many talents seen as the next Messi, but eventually he never made it through the full youth ranks of La Masia. So make sure to stay tuned as we follow the path he took from La Masia to where he is now. In 2011, Kubo joined La Masia as a 9-year-old, and next 4 years he would establish himself as one of La Masia's biggest talents. He is one of the players for the future, together with the likes of Xavi Simons and Ansu Fati. And as he was not that big, left-footed, great at dribbling and scored a crazy amount of goals, it's no surprise that he gained comparisons to Lionel Messi. And his stats were really crazy. In his first full season he scored 74 goals in 30 games. So this kid was definitely the real deal, and he had everything to make it at Barcelona. But where did it go wrong? Well, in 2014, Barcelona got a transfer ban because they had signed international players under the age of 18. Consequently, Kubo was forced to leave Barcelona. So he went back to his home country, Japan, to go and play for FC Tokyo. This was a real shame given how well he was doing at Barcelona. He was one of La Masia's brightest talents. If you look back at it now, you can only dream of what his future would have been without the transfer ban. I'm not saying he would have made it at Barca, but if you look at some other La Masia prodigies like Ansu Fati and Xavi who did make it could have definitely happened. In reality, he was at FC Tokyo though at this point, and there he further developed himself in their youth academy, and he made his professional debut as a 15-year-old in 2017. After a couple of years of being a substitute player and a loan spell to Yokohama Marinos, he eventually became a starter that contributed a lot to the team, as a 17-year-old already. By now, European clubs saw that he was starting to fulfill the incredible potential that he had as a kid, and it wasn't going to last long before he would return to Europe. Different clubs were interested in signing him, and so was Barcelona. And Kubo himself wanted nothing more than to return to his dream club and get a chance in the first team there. Barcelona were willing to pay his transfer fee, but the wages Kubo and his agents asked for were a stumbling block. They asked for 1 million a year, which is not even that much compared to what the Barcelona board was sending out to the first team players back then. So Kubo eventually gave up on his dream of playing for Barca just because of the wages, while Barcelona, and I'm looking at Bartomeu specifically, were stupid enough to not agree to the wages he asked for that were not even that ridiculously big. There were a lot of different clubs that were interested in signing Kubo and that were willing to pay his wages, so he had a lot of options. And what did he eventually do? Indeed, he chose Real Madrid. They were willing to pay him what he asked for in contrary to Barcelona. And sure, it's okay that he goes to Real earn the amount of money that he wants, there's nothing wrong with that. But to join the arch rivals of the club that basically brought you up, that shaped you and has made you the talent that you are, that is definitely some kind of betrayal. And even if he was still young at La Masia, he was brought up with Barca's values, together with other youth players who all loved Barca and had the dream of playing for Barca. One of the reasons he went to Los Blancos might have been the fact that Barca didn't give him what he wanted, and now wanted to take revenge by joining the big enemy. It wouldn't be the first time such thing happened. So at Real Madrid he was now, and he went with them on pre-season that summer and showed promising signs when he got minutes. But before the end of the summer, Los Blancos loaned him out again, to Mallorca. There he played 35 games in La Liga in the 2019-2020 season and scored 4 goals and gave 5 assists. So he definitely got a good amount of game time and improved there. Next summer he returned to Real Madrid, but as they didn't consider him ready yet to be important for the first team, they loaned him out again, this time to Villarreal for half a season. There, in the 2020-2021 season in La Liga, he only played 13 games and didn't have any assists or goals. So for the second half of the season, Los Blancos loaned him out to Getafe, and there he played 18 games in La Liga and had 1 goal and assists. So he again failed to make the impact that he had at Mallorca. This didn't really convince Real Madrid, of course, so they loaned him out again in the 2021-2022 season, to Mallorca, where he had had his best time until then. That season he played 28 games and had 1 goal and assist, so even at Mallorca he wasn't really showing any signs of improvement. That's why this summer Real Madrid sold him to Real Sociedad for 6.5 million euros. There he's not been bad thus far, with 1 goal and assist in 6 games, but most of the times he's come on as a substitute. He's 21 right now, so he can definitely still go on to have a good career and become a world-class player maybe. But if you know what kind of talent he was at La Masia and in Japan, he's definitely not living up to his true potential at the moment. The big question is what his career would have looked like if Barcelona had just agreed to pay him his wages, or if he had accepted to join for less money. I always feel like Barcelona gives more game time to their youngsters than Real Madrid, surely they're from La Masia. Under Valverde he might have not gotten too much playing time, but under coaches like Koeman and Xavi, he probably would have if you look at how much they trust young players from La Masia, or at least most of them. The point here is just that if he had joined Barcelona again, I think he might have been part of the new Barca generation together with likes of Pedri, Gavi and Ansu Fati. At Real Madrid he never really got trusted by any manager, and he's now just wasted a part of his career playing on loan at different Spanish clubs. Wasted might be a little exaggerated, but his progress has been stagnating. At Real Sociedad I do see him getting it back together again and become a starter, and from there on he might still become a world-class player. But for me, as well as a lot of Barca fans probably, he'll always be seen as some kind of betrayer for joining Real Madrid, and looking back at it, joining Barcelona again would have probably been the better choice. That was it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your own opinion on Kubo in the comments down below. Força Barça and have a good day.